Laudable TV is here live at the World Press Conference on the state of anti-corruption fight by a coalition of civil society organizations. Tagged Anti-Corruption Path to Growth in Lives Without Rebound. Chairman by Razaq Olokooba, convener Campaign for Dignity in Governance.
That's why we are here today. We are here to set a path for the new government of the day. We are encouraging all Nigerians, institutions and organizations to build barricade around institutions like EFCC. When Ribadu left, we knew what the people did to him. When Farida came on board, we knew what we did to him, Amagu. So it has become a pattern to harass and ensure that the primary objective of the commission is sabotage. This time, the chairman of EFCC, the chairman of ICPC, or the president of the nation is set out and committed to ensuring that corrupt practices are curbed. So this time around, we are not going to fall for any blackmail. If you say it's selective, suggest other people that will make it not selective again. And I have not seen, since the creation of EFCC, anybody that has been prosecuted or arrested that actually is not in possession of ill-gotten wealth. There are cases of people who are not public office holders that challenge EFCC. We are not bothered about that. But we're bothered about public office holders. How can private pocket be abhorring public funds? That is not going to happen again. So we are standing with Tinubu. We are standing with the current chairman of EFCC and all institutions that is set out to fight against corruption. Tinubu's government can do for Nigerians is to realize the deficiency in the political structure of Nigeria. And once Tinubu begins to seek the understanding of people who are scared of restructuring, who is our northern brothers? I am, and many others are responsible for why our northern brothers are scared of restructuring. Because devolution of power is made to look as if it's anti-North. Whereas there's United Arab Emirates, there is Saudi Arabia, there are other Muslim countries in the world that are prospering. They have a political model that makes them prosper today. That model is what we are asking our government to introduce. And that is kind of model that the president must use as a basis of war explanation to another brother for them to agree to a devolution of power. If you leave the center as it is today, there is no guarantee of prosperity for Nigeria. If the center as it is today, and there is no president that can succeed with this center. So the earlier Nigerians begin to compel Tinubu to look in that direction. That you must look in the direction of devolution of power. If powers are not devolved, President Obasanjo had challenged with Nigerians. Not because, but because of the structure. The same to Jonathan. For me, Buhari is my man. But I knew he would come to this point if he didn't structure Nigeria. And it came to this point. We warned from day one that President Buhari is a good man. He's incorruptible. Up to today, I still have that view. But if you don't restructure Nigeria, Nigeria will be plotted against you. You'll be responsible for the religious life of the people, ethnic life of the people, security, economy. Where in the world do people succeed with this kind of structure? Nowhere in the world. So there's no dream about the structure on ground. If the structure on ground is maintained, we are not going anywhere. So that people, the earlier will let the president realize that the reason why you succeed in Lagos was because you put a model on ground where the origin sector, you did not entrust it with the Minister of Transport only. You created Lamata, you created LASMA, and numerous other agencies to make sure transport sector succeed. So, if you must succeed too as a president, you must devolve power. You can't be the only person responsible for our whole life. No president succeed with that. It's only in Nigeria we are pursuing that kind of aspiration. The impact of corruption is so dismal that an international research finding warns that by 2030, corruption will cost the country 37% of its national gross domestic product, a staggering $2,000 on the citizens. Many critical analysts are perturbed by the seemingly inability to tame the corruption cancerous monster. If scientific surgical scrutiny is not undertaken, the overwhelming allurement to dismiss all effort at combating corruption is highly probable, which may engender pervasive despair and hopelessness in the polity. Truth remains that corruption has become an unannounced global systemic institution. It requires structural, massive social reforms, if not radical paradigm shift, to quantitatively as well as qualitatively measure gains of anti-corruption proceedings. It lives without rebounds. A holistic approach, not limited as exclusive responsibility of the executive agency, but involving the legislative, judiciary, and the entire gamut of society and global community. No doubt, before the creation of anti-graft watchdog agencies like Economic and Financial Crime Commission and Independent Corrupt Practice and related of Crime Commission, that's ICPC, there were platforms like the Code of Conduct Bureau, the CCB, the Police Special Fraud Intelligence Unit, SFIU, and sufficient laws prohibiting sanctioning corruption, graft, and sharp practices. The heuristic question is, why were these laws helpless in combating this grudge? As a matter of fact, at a point in the evolution of our nation and the social demeanors like embezzlement, misappropriation, graft, are rejected with social stigma as against contemporary social applause. The statutory creation of ICBC in 2000 and EFCC in 2002 opened new vista of narratives that Nigeria is prepared to juncture into the global orbit of crusades against corruption, money laundering, and terrorism. Money laundering and terrorism financing, as espoused by G7, promoted global financial task force. The anti-corruption agencies were at a period perceived in some quarters as rabid on for persecution of political foes. At another season, few were raised, on which a watchdog watched over the watchdog. Despite this apprehension, agencies march on stridently to block strain of corruption on our scarce public fund. This is an inevitable necessary imperative for government if it must meet the moral task to provide social infrastructure, welfare services for helpless Nigerians. The EFCC is playing a leading role in the battle against corruption. This is premised on the understanding that if you don't kill corruption, it will kill us. The social gangrene, however, viciously fight back. Virtually none of the herdsmen of the agency steered his ship without getting scars, from New Ribadu to Ibrahim Lamode, Aida Waziri to Ibrahim Magu, up to the present chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa. To prosecute a sustained campaign against corruption, it must necessarily be systemic, structural, social, and global crusade, can be easily identified in operations and focus of the EFCC in recent time. It is thus apposite to unequivocally alert the general public, well-meaning Nigerians, to be wary of antics of some element profiting from the proceeds of corruption that have been trying to rubbish the agency. Recent strides of the EFCC at repositioning anti-corruption campaigns to prosecute a sustained campaign against corruption, it must necessarily be a systemic, structural, social, and global crusade. The approach can easily be identified in operational focus of the EFCC at the same time. It is apposite to alert the general public, well-meaning Nigerians, to be wary of antics of some element profiting from proceeds of corruption that have been trying to rubbish the agency by tarnishing its leadership. Abdulrasheed Bawa-led EFCC under the outgone President Muhammadu Buhari administration has initiated fundamental programs aimed at ensuring effective delivery of the agency's statutory mandate. Opposite at the turning point moment in our history as we transit into the administration of the 7th presidency and the 4th Republic that we should consolidate initiative to combat crimes, grafts, and corruption. This is much more so in the face of renewed vigor of resistance by the highly politically exposed person for bringing managers of the EFCC to disrepute and tarnish the image of the foremost anti-corruption institution. A cursory overview of the giant leap of EFCC clearly revealed structural initiative to assure that there is rebound in the anti-corruption crusade. The effort has led to increased mass awareness and public engagement, added incentive for whistleblowing, improved collaborative intelligence gathering, global outreach through the Eagle Eye app for reportage from victims of corruption, home abroad, and easy access to broad information communication technology systems. The cardinal focus of EFCC central on policy reforms, domestications, and execution of international treaties. This includes the implementation of the Open Government Partnership (OGP) Treaty in 2016 as adopted by the G7 countries at the London Anti-Corruption Summit. Anti-corruption agencies were empowered, giving further leverage in the National Anti-Corruption Strategy document from 2017 to 2021, which has been reviewed to cover 2022 to 2026. Legal rights were equally given to the operations of anti-graft bodies via legislative enactment, such as anti-corruption laundering and combating the financing of terrorism and proliferation financing as arms financing, bracket AM/CFT/CPF bracket rules, Act of 2022. Others are money laundering, prohibition bracket prohibition and prevention bracket close, Act 2022. Terrorism prevention bracket prohibition and prevention bracket close, Act 2022. Proceeds of crimes bracket recovery and management bracket close, Act 2022. And a new review of the companies and allied matters, Act bracket CAMA bracket close 2020. The anti-corruption fight is adequately funded, leading to 100% budget performance. It is worthy of commendation to acknowledge the EFCC initiative of the Special Control Unit, Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCUMO, which tackles designated non-financial businesses and professions, bracket DNFBPs, bracket close, that can sometimes serve as adversary gatekeepers to conceal account of illicit financial transactions. Some of the highlights of the key operational policy reform executed by the EFCC are establishment of standard operating procedure policy manuals, bracket 26 SOPs, bracket close, automation/digitalization of operations, establishment of Eagle Eye app, bracket July 2021, bracket close, for the direct citizens report of anti-corruption activities, which has over 118,000 global downloads and offering policy advisories to government ministries and departmental agencies. Through its investigation, prosecution, EFCC between 2016 and 2022 had 8,957 convictions. It deployed X17 of the advanced fee fraud and other fraud-related offences Act 2006 to recover 86 units of landed properties worth 46 billion naira, jewelries worth 40 million naira, among others. The agency has entrenched effective alliance with strategic partnership with international bodies like the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI), the CSO, that is civil society organizations, donor agencies, UK-NCA, Foreign and Commonwealth Development Offices, FCDO in bracket, United Nations Development Programme, UNDP in bracket, UNODC, Globe Network 2030, as well as overseeing the implementation of the UN Millennium Social Development Goals, in brackets, UN SDGs. Preventing anti-corruption will under President Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's administration, as against past epochs when suspects of corruption practice purchase Pretoria or higher links to lampoon anti-corruption watchdog or raise doors to claim innocence. A new era of thorough scientific investigation, diligent prosecution, conviction of corruption cases is highly imperative in the upcoming era. Hitherto, S-men of hackers, including the EFCC, are usually appointed from outside of the agencies. Abdulrasheed Bawa is, however, a product of the EFCC. It is instructive to know that he has laid the building pillar for sustaining structured campaign without rebound. The follow-up task is to manifest the completion of this novel initiative. The following things are therefore recommended. People's ownership of the fight against corruption in the communities and neighborhood with mass-based instruments like mass mobilization for socio-economic recovery, MAMSA, war against indiscipline and corruption brigades, etc. Strengthening institutional capacities of anti-corruption agencies with requisite legislative enactment. 3. Introduction of private investigation and prosecution of corrupt cases. 4. Establishment of anti-corruption tribunals, which expedite appeal right at the Supreme Court to speed up conviction processes. Criminalization of negative activities of meddlesome interlopers in inter-corruption cases, while rent the crowd to protest while investigation persists on corruption charges, rather than allowing competent court of law to determine innocence of which of suspects. Continued collaboration with global anti-corruption institutions and domestication of pertinent international treaties. Adequate funding of hackers, if possible, as a first-line budget item. Conclusion. In law civilized climate across the globe, any government that aspires to succeed and provide good governance for its citizens will work towards eradication of corruption and any form of grafts because of their potential to wreak havoc on the country and cause political destabilization and economic wreckage. Against the foregoing, the new administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should, as a matter of necessity, not only retain abdulrasheed Bawa-led administration of the EFCC, but also strengthen it more vigorously with all the required tools and logistics. All the plans towards successful fight against graft, it has commenced. President Tinubu should ignore all the detractors and rented crowd of corruptly induced crowd of detractors who do not mean well for the country. All the well-meaning Nigerians should also take time to study scientific approaches Bawa is introducing into the anti-graft war with a view to understanding and be convinced about why Bawa-led should be supported and allowed to be retained. Thank you very much.
And this government meant well for all Nigerians. They need money to work. But if corruption is allowed, that will be very, very impossible. For this government to succeed in all what they've laid out to do for Nigerians, corruptions need to go down to the barest minimum level. We cannot condone corruption at this level anymore. Because what we have been asking this new government is to be transparent, is to communicate. And the only way they can communicate is for us to also play our part and fight corruption. So it's very, very important that Nigeria must know that every form of corruption must see that the government is not going to that direction and Nigeria are waging war against any form of corruption. Otherwise, it will be business as usual. And we are not helping the masses of this nation. The battle belongs to Nigerian masses now. If you see any corrupt activities, actions, please say something. Report to the area. You have the social media. We cannot continue to fold our hand on this issue. Billions and billions of naira are disappearing from the purse of government. Billions and billions of dollars are leaving this country on daily basis. Illegitimately. Only God knows the number of barrels of coal that have been stolen from us for years. This also affects people who work in the health sector. Niger Delta as a whole. When we notice anything, let's talk. Let's inform the authority. If there's any mining site that is not recognized in this country, please, it's our right. Nigerians, everywhere you find any corrupt act, let government know. And the right thing will be done this time around. Because this is a new government that meant well for us. And we must also plan well for ourselves. In doing that is when you help yourself. God bless Nigeria.
I want everybody to the world to know that we don't have anything against Bawa. That's why Bawa's name came on board. We are not part of the civil society that's calling for the mover. So if you don't make that clarification, people may lump us together and say maybe we are also saying that. That's one. Two, why must you wait for the day I catch you stealing my chicken? That's the day you now remember I stole your bread. Anybody that has a case against Bawa should go to court before Bawa catch you or before Bawa start a case against you. It is immoral. And we have to be careful as a Nigerian, as a people. We are the one creating crisis for the people in government. All the anti-graft agencies in the world, the moment they go after one political class, this kind of argument will come up. Bawa is a thief. I'm not, it's not my business why he's a thief. Establish a case against him and see whether we are not going to enlist his own name too. That's one. Two is that I will no longer, I've been volunteering against government for 33 years of my life. I went to jail for the first time in 1989. My name is at stake. I will no longer be part of people that will decimate institutions in Nigeria again. We are going to build barricade against our infiltration of our institutions. Nobody will decimate it again. Tinubu is coming on board now. You know what we are going to do? In the blackmail, that he's using EFCC. Those people that EFCC has gone after are then not stealing our money. If it is an innocent person like you now that you don't steal anything, if they come after you, come out before they get to us, we will fight for you. But all the cases are established cases of somebody is trying to steal our money. And this is not how nations are built. This is not how nations are built. It's strange that you see Nigerians, there's no part of the world before that thieves are given chieftaincy title. But in the last 30 years, that's what we are witnessing. When I was a kid, a thief, anybody, police come to your house, they will not greet you again for the next 10 years. But today, we are making case for Matawali. They are in court. I will not be in support of Matawali, what he say, whatever he say. If he has anything against me, let him go to court. That's not my business. So we are here to assist Tinubu to succeed. You cannot succeed if you have people roaming the corridor of power. People are stealing your money. Very soon, as we will be on strike now, where are all those money going? Budget for education is sufficient to pay our lecturers. It's sufficient to fund our laboratories. It's sufficient to do our roads. Because the money is disappearing into private pocket. That's why the lecturers are not paid. So for us here, we are seasoned in what we are doing. We have developed this skill. No blackmail can do anything for us again. We stand where we are. Today, we are standing by the president to continue the fight against corruption. We are standing with Tinubu. We are standing with EFCC. We are standing with Bawa because he's the head of, not because he's Bawa, but because he's the head of EFCC. We can't be standing with Magu is gone now. Or we can't be standing with someone that is coming in the future. The president now that is there today is the president we are going to stand with. So on that note, we are standing with Bawa.
Ẹ wo, ẹ jẹ́ ká dúpẹ́ fún Olódùmarè, fún Elédùà fún ìṣàkóso tó gbérò àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ kalẹ̀. Tó wá pé irú òye ètò báyìí ti wà tẹ́lẹ̀ sẹ́yìn wá, bí àpò tó bàjẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà sẹ́yìn kí ló ń bàjẹ́ tó báyìí. Gbogbo wa àjọ ń ṣe ni o. Bàbá sọ pé ìgbà tí ní àṣìṣàṣe, bàbá sọ pé ìgbà tí Tinubu tó ń ṣe ìgbọ́lé fún ààrẹ tuntun wọlé àtẹgbẹ́ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe nǹkan bá irọ́ o ẹgbẹ́ yìí ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ń jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ ìlú náà ni àwa ní ká mọ tá à ń ṣe ká má fi ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu bà ẹgbẹ́ yìí jẹ́ bàbá kò ń ṣe nípa corruption nìkan la wà fún o kò ń ṣe nípa pé àwọn èèyàn kówó ìlú jẹ nìkan la wà fún ẹni tó bá fi ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀nà ìbùrú gbàmọ́ tí yẹ kó gbà lọ́wọ́ tiyín àti yẹn kan ṣe nǹkan tí yẹ kó ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́ ẹbù wa gbọ́ ẹbù gbogbo ojókòó yìí gbọ́ ìtẹ́ bá lè jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ẹ social media àwọn ọmọ àdáyé náà lórí ẹ̀ ṣe gbọ́ eléyìí ṣe pé bóyá àpọ̀ra ọ̀nà ń jà fún àwa ń jà fún ìlú ni ààrẹ kò yípa nìkan là ń ṣe àjọ ń ṣe ni àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ní àjùmọ̀ṣe tẹ̀yìn àjùmọ̀ṣe tiwọ́ ní àjùmọ̀ṣe tẹ̀yìn náà ní bàbá ṣe gbọ́ tẹ bá rí ohun tó da ẹ má fọwọ́ bò ẹ má ṣẹ́wọ́ bò àti kó gba kájọkájọ gbìmọ̀ ṣe ìjọba Tinubu kò gbọdọ̀ dàrú tó gba Tinubu kò gbọdọ̀ bàjẹ́ ó dọ́wọ́ tí yóò dọ́wọ́ tèmi ó dọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa ṣe gbọ́ àwọn èèyàn tó wà tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n bàjẹ́ torí pé wọn fi the right person síbẹ̀ ló yẹ kó bàjẹ́ nísìnyí the right person dé ìsìnkú àwọn àdéhùn bàjẹ́.
That have been the Secretary of Trade Union Congress TUC in Lagos State. I've been national leader of the student movement, of youth movement. All these people have been so. We have been involved in self-determination national struggle. We have been involved in human rights and pro-democracy struggle. With Belko, with Olisa and Bakoba, we have been on the street, even during the 8 days of the military. So it's not today. It's not today. Just, if you go any of our names, as you see them, you will see our history in the public domain. Having said that, we fight as many battles as we feel that is not correct, that is not going to move the Nigerian nation forward, that is against humanity, that is an injustice. We fight it. And the whole essence of here, the main convener said, let us limit our discourse today to what was here. And if I may correct it from what I see here, it's not about Magu per se. It's not about Bawa per se. It's about the anti-corruption struggle. That how far does far? How do we go for the leaves so that there will not be backlash? We know there are shortcomings in the crusade of anti-corruption. For instance, the releases of some of the people who have been convicted, the pardon. There are some shortcomings, but how do we guard against this thing? Then we catalog the nation person, Mr. Badejo. If you read it very well, we catalog what this current EFCC, what EFCC have done thus far, both in terms of domesticating international treaties. Anti-corruption struggle is not about Nigeria because it affects other countries too. The money that is looted here is used to finance wars, drugs, hard drugs in Asia, in Caribbean, in Sudan, etc. It is an international syndicate. That is what corruption is. So there is an international outcry, global outcry against corruption. It's affecting economy worldwide. It's affecting provision of the Millennium Social Development Goals, social infrastructure that we ought to know, we ought to be using worldwide, the funds are diverted for other criminal illicit activities, especially drugs that are killing people all over. So there are treaties. We mentioned the global, the 2016 treaty, which was promoted by even the G7. The G7 are the great 7 nations: UK, US, Germany, France, etc. These are the G7 that, and this is what should be done. Some of these global treaties have been domesticated in Nigeria. You should applaud the Nigerian government, the EFCC for that. That we have the law. Now it is now to have the political will to implement, and to have the political will need the social movement. The social movement is through the media. You should not see. Those of us here, we will remain eternally vigilant, saying this there's a law. Like for instance, there is this law on your right, the freedom of information bill. We are not invoking it. When this thing is happening, we keep pressure, and things keep changing small by small. That is our task. We contextualize that. We also spoke about, like people are talking about, the Eagle Eye app is a good innovation. that EFCC have now. If you go see, if you see any criminal something, not just the whistleblower that you can send it in and copy the whole world. People are doing it globally with the eagle eye. There are things that EFCC are doing, and we are saying you cannot throw away the baby with the bath water. That is the first point to note. Then we now gradually move that. Okay, there is a transition of government, and you know government is a continuum. More importantly, it is from APC to another APC. So whether we like it or not, there will be similarity of policies, because even if it's from PDP, they will. For instance, there is a problem we have currently, the oil subsidy thing. The government before had entered into threatening that it will implement it by June this year. They have collected the loan. This government must use its head on how it will be implemented. It's a continuum. Government is continuum. If it has been done by PDP too, they will not be able to change it. So we now look at it that, okay, since government is a continuum, what can be done? And I think those demands, those are, I think about 7 demands, seven something about structural is important. If we do all those structural build-up, we will be going further and further. Then the last one, I see so many things in Nigeria that are nonsense. All this issue of EFCC raise issue against somebody, immediately the next morning, some people will go and do protest. It's madness. That's what's killing anti-corruption crusade in Nigeria. It's serious madness. As far as I'm concerned, what we are losing in Nigeria by politically exposed persons is huge. We can never recover. There is no nation that can grow with that kind of drain in our economy.
Critique, and should not be afraid of being critiqued too. If you discipline, you must not be afraid of being disciplined too. So we thank you for that. We have not. It's not now that people have been saying that they do collect money. Even if you collect subsidy, if there's a fuel increase tomorrow, as much as Tinubu has an entire with our struggle, we now need a protest against. People will say ask you that they do collect money to protest against you. So it's not new. For one bàbá tó sọ Yorùbá, wọ́n ní ká béèrè torí pọ́n pẹ́ dé ọ̀pọ̀ tó kàn wọ́n gbó ìbò àti ṣàlàyé tó pọ̀ fún Mr. Peter Boka fún àǹfààní pé ní wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé. Nǹkan tá à ń sọ ni pé ní kọ́tẹ́ mọ̀ wá fún náà ni pé ní kájà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà lówó Nàìjíríà o. Ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ni. So téèyàn kankan bá ń kó jẹ, tábà rí iléeṣẹ́ kan tó ń bá wọn jà pé kọ́ máa kó jẹ, èmi àti ńlá ti kún wọ́n nǹkan tọ́lọ́run ò ṣe fún Jésù àtànábì wọn lè ṣe fún wa Nàìjíríà o. Ànábì jà jihad ẹni o, màláíkà tó ló bá jà. Kò dẹ̀ sí màláíkà tó bá Jésù náà gbé cross ẹ̀, Jesus carried the cross himself. Nílùú yìí a máa jà jihad bá, a dẹ̀ máa gbé cross ara wa ni. Tí Jésù bá padà wá yí parẹ́ nìyẹn, kò bá ẹnì kan jà fẹ́ di block anybody mọ́. So ó dẹ̀ ti mọ́ wa lá Nàìjíríà ká máa fi pé ọmọ Amẹ́ríkà ló mọ́ wá jà fẹ́ tó wa. Deliberate la ṣe fi conference wa ṣe ni. Nítorí pé Tinubu dé lánàá deliberate la fi ṣe ni kò chapter tó máa open afẹ́káṣáájú open chapter kẹ́ni ₦1 owó ọmọ Nàìjíríà kò gbọdọ̀ miss ₦1 gbọdọ̀ miss n ta ṣe jáde nìyẹn. Ìlú tí o bá ti kìjọba láyà ìjọba máa sátọ̀ tó sì ni pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wo body language ìjọba ní lọ́jọ́ba náà body language aráàlú tí ó bá ti ṣe pé ní aráàlú ń hùwà kí èèyàn kó jẹ kẹ máa fún ní international title ní kò sí ìjọba tó máa fọṣẹ anti corruption fight mọ́ kọsọ máa yílé lórí ni. So torí pé ajáde ń sìn ó máa kí Tinubu láyà lẹ́yìn kò sí dẹ́sìn ẹ̀dá gan. Gbogbo wọn tó máa yan mínísítà náà ti máa mọ̀ pé ní àwọn nǹkan ti jáde o wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ wá kò sí ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ní gbogbo wa mọ̀ ṣe sọ. So àwọn nǹkan ti jáde o wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé ní àwọn máa kún Tinubu tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní owó subsidy tá à ń sọ yìí wọ́n ní corruption wà bẹ́ẹ̀. So ₦1 owó wa kò gbọ́dọ̀ dáhùn kò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ síbi tí ó yẹ kó lọ sí. So n ta jáde fún nìyẹn. And tí mídíà ò bá kún wa àwa àti mídíà ọmọ ìyá ni wá nígbà tó ń jà fún tológun wọ́n ṣe ń lé yín kiri náà lẹ́wà náà kiri wọ́n ṣe. So media, we need your support in this fight. We should not be in support of government. We should not be in support of the people. We should be in support of the truth. Òótọ́ ni kẹ́jẹ́ ká lé lórí. Gbogbo ọmọ wa ti jápa tán. Kí ló kọ́ jápa? Britain ṣe wọ́n surprise dọ́là pé ní kí ló máa ṣe Nàìjíríà. Our activists do accuse you. Our country is a small island. Kill one shembi. Kill over. Teba low budget education. Your minister, salary minister of minister for. Your salary commissioner, minister of universal basic education, university commission, polytechnic commission, college of education commission, 36 commissioner of education in Nigeria. On the road of chemical. Gbogbo mi tó dẹ̀ yà sí yẹn náà ju tí wọ́n sáko at asọ́pọ̀ kùn ti dé sí yẹn. Àyè ò sí fún yẹn mọ́ ọmọ wọn tó bá fi lè parí school sí báyìí. Owó láti wà láti dá ilé iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ láti bú lọ jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa fi ṣiṣẹ́. Nǹkan tá à ń sọ nìyẹn. Àdẹ̀bẹ̀gẹ̀ kún wa kó ṣe parí pé ní kọ́ máa mú wọn ẹni tó kó jẹ là ń sọ sí. Aláfẹ́ kún ilé iṣẹ́ tó ń jà fẹ́ni tó ń kó jọ́ ìkẹ́ máa pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wa ni. So àdúgbò fún ẹwà pé àpè yẹn. Ìdákúrekú ni programme tó ń bọ̀ táwọn ìjọ máa ń ṣe àdẹ̀mọ̀ pé ètò kọjá tá bá wa ṣe àdúgbò fún gbé ṣe bá wa dùn tẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ ká sọ̀bọ̀ wá lẹ́nu kọ́ta sọ́nà lẹ́sọ̀. So we thank you for being with us, for supporting us. The last press conference we held, we thank you for reporting accuracy and precision in what you have said. You didn't say what we did not say. You didn't report what we did not say. So thank you very much.
Solidarity forever. We shall always victory, there is victory. For our victory, there is victory. For our in the struggle for Nigeria. There is victory forward, ever backward, never in the struggle. Am I able to forget? Yeah.